The person who owes you money is about to come forward with a dangerous confession. Archangel Michael says, a dark secret is coming to the surface, one that has been buried beneath borrowed money, broken promises, and betrayal. This person, the one you trusted, is carrying something heavier than debt. What they're about to confess will not only shake you, it will change everything you thought you knew about your past with them. This confession isn't about the money alone, that was just the surface. Beneath it lies a trail of manipulation, deceit, and a twisted agreement they never had the courage to reveal. They were supposed to repay you long ago. But something stopped them, and it wasn't just pride or struggle. It was fear that once the truth came out, you'd never look at them the same way again. What they did with the money wasn't what they told you. What they covered up with lies has now come back to haunt them. Type Amen to get blessing 333. This person has been avoiding your presence, your voice, even your name. Every time they see your photo or hear someone mention you, their stomach turns, not because of guilt alone, but because of the weight of what they know is coming. They're being spiritually pressed. Every sleepless night, every strange coincidence, every closed door in their life right now is connected to what they owe you, not just in money, but in truth. You may have even sensed it lately. Your dreams showing flashes of this person, your chest tightening when their name crosses your mind. That's no accident, that's divine alignment warning you of a coming storm. They've reached their breaking point. Soon, they'll come forward, but what they bring won't just be an apology. It will be a confession you weren't expecting. Type Amen to get blessing 747. They took what you gave them with a smile, but behind your back, they used it for something dangerous. Something that now ties both your names to a situation darker than you agreed to. Documents were signed. Money changed hands in places you were never meant to be connected to. Your name, your kindness, your help, it was used as a shield in a game you didn't know you were part of. This person thought they could escape the consequences. But divine law doesn't sleep. And now, the very things they tried to hide are being exposed one by one. They didn't just owe you, they involved you. And now, it's unraveling. Type Amen to get blessing 505. You were never supposed to be caught in their mess. But they were desperate. And desperation twisted their morals into shadows. They're going to try and soften it when they speak. They'll say they didn't know what they were doing. But the truth is, they knew exactly what they were risking when they brought your energy into their chaos. Archangel Michael says, you were chosen for a higher purpose, and this moment is part of your spiritual testing. It's not about vengeance. It's about awareness. You must be alert and ready. Because the moment they come clean, they're going to need something more than your forgiveness, they're going to need your strength. Type Amen to get blessing 661. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. They're afraid now, not just of you, but of what you'll find out once they start talking. Because the story they told you before, it was carefully crafted to keep you in the dark. They spent what you gave them on a person who manipulated them. A woman or man who convinced them they could make more, and instead, they lost everything. Now, that third party is circling back, asking questions, making threats. And your name is still connected, whether you meant for it or not. They're coming to confess because they have no other choice. But don't mistake this for bravery. It's survival. Type A men to get blessing 998. This individual has seen strange things lately, their luck turning, their peace disturbed, their doors closing. Spirit is forcing their hand. Your ancestors have risen around you. They are not allowing your kindness to go unanswered. That's why things are falling apart in this person's life. They've been spiritually exposed. You're about to find out things that will explain the delays, the silence, the avoidance. You'll understand why you felt uneasy all along. They've been watched, not just by people, but by higher forces, and now the moment of truth can no longer be avoided. Type A men to get blessing February 2019. When they show up, they'll pretend they want to make peace. But listen carefully, because in their confession is also a plea for help. They're not just coming clean, they're hoping you'll take some of the weight off their shoulders. That you'll step in and save them one last time. But this time, you must protect yourself. You can hear them, you can forgive, but don't sacrifice your peace again. This person hasn't changed fully, they're just broken enough to tell the truth. And broken people can still be dangerous if you're not spiritually grounded. Type A men to get blessing 369. Archangel Michael says, a storm is approaching disguised as a conversation. A confession wrapped in guilt and desperation. Be ready, not to react, but to discern. There will be a moment in their words when you'll feel chills. That's when the lie will try to slip in. They'll want to twist some details, minimize their choices. But you'll see through it this time. You've evolved too much, your spirit has grown sharper. You'll feel what's true and what's not, even before they finish the sentence. This person isn't just returning money, they're returning a spiritual debt. Type A men to get blessing 414. They might say things like I didn't want to hurt you or I didn't know who else to turn to, but you'll remember the late nights you worried, the stress you carried for their sake, the moments you went without so they could have. And that's when you'll realize, this was never about the money. It was about betrayal. Trust, broken in silence. You may feel tempted to walk away from them completely, but you don't need to make that decision immediately. Let the truth settle. Let your guide speak. There's power in pause. And right now, you're being asked to listen before acting. Type A men to get blessing 3333. They may also reveal a connection you didn't know about. A mutual friend, a shared contact, even a family member who was in on it. Someone close who knew, and never said a word. That betrayal will sting more than the money ever did. But it will also set you free, because when all the pieces fall into place, you'll see that the delay in your blessings wasn't bad luck, it was protection from what was being hidden in the shadows. And now the light is exposing it all. Every hidden deal. Every lie. Every misused dollar tied to your energy. Type A meant to get blessing 224. They didn't think the truth would ever catch up. But spiritual justice has a perfect memory, and it never arrives early or late, it arrives right on time. That time is now. And your name is being separated from the darkness they tried to cover you with. They tried to shift the blame in conversations you never heard, behind closed doors, they told others half-stories, dressed lies as confusion, and tried to play the victim. But the universe kept receipts. Now, they're cornered, not by you, but by the weight of everything they did. And they've realized the only way forward is through confession. Archangel Michael says, "You must be wise in this moment. You can receive the truth, but you must not be manipulated by the guilt that comes with it." Type Amen to get blessing July 1947. When they speak, you'll hear a voice that sounds familiar, but broken. Their energy will feel weaker than before. It's not humility, it's fear masked as remorse. They will admit they lost control. That the money they took from you was used to cover up another lie, another debt, another betrayal. What you gave them out of love, they offered to someone else out of illusion. But what they didn't expect was for you to rise so far above it. While they were sinking, you were elevating. While they were hiding, you were healing. Now they're returning, not because they want to, but because they must. Type Amen to get blessing 388. This confession won't just come with words, it will come with consequences. They may even reveal your name was listed somewhere without your permission, a lease, a document. A deal you were unknowingly tied to. You will feel shock, and then anger. But soon after, something powerful will rise in you, clarity. And that clarity will feel like chains breaking off your life. You'll realize how much was being spiritually blocked by this hidden agreement, how many of your blessings were paused while your name was spiritually entangled with their mess. And as they confess, that cord begins to sever. Type Amen to get blessing 999. They might cry. They might beg, they might tell you they didn't mean for any of it to go that far. But you will see them clearly now, for who they are, and who they were pretending to be. They used to sleep peacefully while you worried. They ate while you fasted. They moved on while you stayed stuck, wondering what went wrong, and now, the roles have reversed. Now, they carry the weight, and you carry the light. You are no longer the person they could fool. You are the person they have to face. Type Amen to get blessing 4444. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $20. You may feel the urge to say nothing, to let them speak and let the silence answer for you. That is your power. You no longer need revenge. Your elevation is enough. What's coming next for you is restoration beyond anything you imagined. Because what they thought they stole wasn't your final blessing, it was a test. And you passed it with pain, with patience, with grace. Now heaven is moving on your behalf. And their confession is only the beginning of your rising. Type Amen to get blessing 828. They will say, "I didn't want to tell you this, but I had to." And in that moment, everything inside you will shift. Your intuition will unlock, and all the unanswered questions will make sense. That strange dream you had, it was about this. That moment you almost messaged them but stopped. It was your spirit pulling back for protection. Now you know why certain blessings felt delayed. You were wrapped in their spiritual mess, and Spirit was protecting you from the consequences they hadn't yet revealed. But now, the light is clearing the path. Type Amen to get blessing 313. Their confession might also include a name you haven't heard in a long time. Someone from your past. Someone who helped them, pushed them, or used them to get to you. The shock will come not from hearing the name, but from realizing how long the betrayal had been in motion. But don't let it break you. Let it free you. Because once you hear the full truth, you'll never look back at that chapter the same way again. You'll realize you were chosen to rise through betrayal, not be broken by it. Type Amen to get blessing 1010. They may leave out details. They may try to protect their ego. But Spirit will fill in the gaps. You will just know, this is your moment of divine clarity. A spiritual cleansing of every lie that kept your power tied down. The money was never the real issue, it was your trust, your time, your name. And now, all of it is being returned to you with interest. Not from them, but from heaven. What's coming next will overshadow what was taken. Type Amen to get blessing 0000. Archangel Michael says, the one who thought they could use you is about to witness your divine rise. Their apology may not heal everything, but your awareness will. Walk with strength now, don't lower your energy to match their regret. Stand tall in your knowing. Because from this moment on, nothing can stop what God is releasing into your life. They thought they delayed your destiny, but they only made your table bigger. Type Amen to get blessing 5555. They believed they were one step ahead of you. They thought that by holding back the truth, they could keep you in confusion while they benefited from your silence. But what they didn't realize was that your silence wasn't weakness, it was divine strategy. Every time they delayed the truth, heaven recorded it. Every sleepless night you endured, every tear you cried wondering why someone you helped turned cold, it was all seen, and now, it's being balanced. They are about to see that they didn't just owe you money, they owed you honor, they owed you clarity, and they owed you truth. And the weight of those debts is heavier than any amount they borrowed. They're coming forward not out of nobility, but because what was hidden is now being forced into the light. Type Amen to get blessing 606, you'll hear their voice shake as they speak. Not because they're sorry, but because they're terrified of losing the last bit of access they think they have to you. They've watched you from afar. Seen your glow return. Seen your life slowly rebuild, even without their repayment, and that's when it hit them they didn't break you. They delayed you, yes. But they didn't stop you. And now they know the version of you they owe is no longer the version who trusted blindly. You are wiser. Stronger, divinely guarded, you no longer move out of emotion. You move with precision. Type Amen to get blessing 787. What they'll tell you next will be hard to hear. They'll mention a situation they dragged you into spiritually, without your permission. It might involve stolen identity, hidden signatures, or using your kindness to cover their tracks. You may feel a moment of rage. You may feel the need to confront others. But pause. The truth was delayed to protect you until you were powerful enough to see it without reacting from pain. Archangel Michael says, you were hidden for a season so your light could not be dimmed by their darkness. And now, because you have matured, the truth can be released. Let it come. Let it free you. But don't let it consume you. Type Amen to get blessing 8888. They may offer money now, not out of honesty, but to buy silence. They may say, here, take this, hoping it will erase what they did. But your soul will know no amount can ever replace the trust they broke. You'll take what's owed, but you won't give them what they want, access to your peace. This is not just a repayment. It's a transaction of energy. And you are no longer available to carry guilt that was never yours to begin with. They owe you, yes. But now, heaven owes you more, and heaven always pays in overflow. Type Amen to get blessing 494. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks. With contributions of up to $20, they'll ask for your understanding. They may cry, talk about what they've been through, how they were pressured, influenced, or misled. And though you may feel a flicker of empathy, don't forget the timeline. You waited in silence, you suffered in confusion. You gave from a full heart and were met with silence. This moment is not for guilt. It's for closure. You are not responsible for their choices, you are responsible for protecting your new peace. Let them speak. Let them fall apart if they must. But you? You stay rooted in power. Type Amen to get blessing 717. There may be one final request. A favor. A plea. Something like, can you help me just this one more time, and your answer must come from your highest self. Not from pity. Not from obligation. But from your intuition. You will feel instantly whether this is a trap or a test. Archangel Michael says, the enemy will often disguise itself in desperation. But your clarity now is your sword. You don't need to cut with anger, you only need to stand still in truth. Truth is protection. Truth is fire, and you're now walking fully in both. Type Amen to get blessing 6666. The confession may lead to the exposure of others, friends who knew, relatives who encouraged it, even authority figures who looked the other way. It may feel overwhelming. But remember, the truth sets you free, not them. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. The universe is handling every name involved behind the scenes. And while their worlds start to shake, your world will begin to shine. Because you didn't return evil for evil. You chose wisdom. That's why what's being unlocked for you now is not just restoration, but divine favor. Type Amen to get blessing 2323. There's a blessing that was paused the moment they involved your name in deception. A contract, a door, a connection that stalled. Not because you weren't ready, but because heaven needed to disconnect you from spiritual theft first. Now that the truth is surfacing, those doors are being opened again, the opportunities are returning. And this time, they won't be taken from you. You'll feel a shift over the next few days, lighter thoughts, clearer dreams, sudden downloads of insight. That's the divine realm restoring your spiritual flow. And once it begins, it won't stop. Type Amen to get blessing 1818. Archangel Michael says, the pain they caused will not define your story. The delay they created was divine redirection. They thought they could steal and succeed. But Spirit has a perfect balance, and now, the scale is tipping. You will rise. Not with revenge, but with radiance. Not through war, but through wisdom. And the ones who owed you will have to watch you live in a peace they can never take credit for. Type Amen to get blessing 00000. You will start to feel something leave your body, an old heaviness, a pressure that sat on your chest for far too long. That weight wasn't yours. It was theirs. You carried it unknowingly, just by caring, just by trusting, just by giving from a place they took for granted. Now that the confession has been spoken, that weight breaks. You are no longer tied to the energy of confusion. Your heart, your finances, your destiny, they're all being released from the grip of someone who thought they could hold your future hostage. They thought they were clever. But heaven was watching the entire time. What they sowed in secrecy, you will reap in justice. And justice is already moving in your favor. Type Amen to get blessing 6161. Don't be surprised if others come forward now. The moment one person confesses, it causes a chain reaction. Truth wants to be known. And what was once hidden by silence now seeks light. You will find yourself receiving messages, apologies, even offers to make things right. But not all of them are sincere. Some will be sent by guilt, others by fear of exposure. This is where your spiritual discernment must sharpen. You're not being called to punish, you're being called to walk in power. Let Spirit show you who's real and who's returning just to avoid consequences. Type Amen to get blessing 7171. There will be a shift in your finances as this confession comes forth. The blockages that once delayed your income, the slow progress, the missed opportunities, those were not coincidences. They were symptoms of spiritual interference. Now that you're being untangled from this person's deception, your money will begin to flow differently. Expect unexpected checks, overdue opportunities, and surprises that feel like divine repayment. Your harvest was never denied, it was just protected until the thief was revealed. And now that they're exposed, your harvest will be released with acceleration. Archangel Michael says, prepare. The blessing coming isn't small. It's restitution. Type Amen to get blessing 4040. You may feel emotional in the coming days, not from pain, but from realization. The more you reflect, the more you'll see how long you've been strong without reward. How much you've endured without explanation. But that's changing now. Spirit is not just rewarding your endurance, it's multiplying your favor. The person who wronged you will have to witness your rising. And not from beside you, but from behind you. Their access expired the moment they weaponized your trust. And your new season will not carry the scent of their betrayal. Type Amen to get blessing 1212. They will ask, do you hate me? They'll try to spark your empathy. They'll try to guilt you back into old habits of helping, explaining, and carrying their shame. But this time, you won't fall into the trap. You'll remember every ignored call, every lie, every time they pretended to be loyal while hiding their deceit. You can forgive, but you do not have to reconnect. Forgiveness is for your freedom. Reconnection is optional. And in this case, unnecessary. You're not who you were when they hurt you. You've evolved. Type Amen to get blessing 1313. A new chapter is beginning in your story. One where money no longer slips away, where you no longer attract users, where your boundaries stand strong. This chapter is called Divine Alignment. And it comes with protection, overflow, and clarity. The people who owed you may never become better, but they will be removed. Because your life can no longer support the weight of people who don't value truth. Let them confess, let the dust settle. Then move on, with peace, with power, and with no apology. Type Amen to get blessing 9999. They will remember you forever, not because you broke, but because you didn't. Not because you begged, but because you outgrew them, you became everything they tried to slow down.